Cloud computing solution component workflow. Cloud computing solution component workflow, basically it shows that how your cloud, public cloud services that like AWS or Azure, whatever it may be, it basically how it works. What are the different steps? Though you people are using all those steps, still it is showing that how it is utilizing through a systematic process, meaning that everybody is utilizing those step-by-step procedures only to get some benefits. First of all, we need to know that why cloud computing solution component is required and what are the different cloud computing solution components. Okay, so first I am showing you what are the different cloud computing solution components. So first is your service catalog. Next, self-service portal. Then service request. Service provisioning. Then chargeback based on your used services. So from the service catalog, we check that what type of services are available from, and we use the self-service portal to take the services based on our requirement, and then we go for the service request. Then service request is approved by the orchestrator. Then go for the service provisioning if it is required. Then we optimize the infrastructure. How we optimize the infrastructure, that also I will discuss. Then based on your services and monitoring and optimization, they will go for metering and chargeback, and that chargeback will go to the self-service portal. Now, whether I am Microsoft Azure, whether I have the business on Azure business, whether I have the business of Salesforce, and one thing I would like to share with you that 2018 batch, the CSC students, 5 CSC students have, out of these 5 CSC students, 3 has got job in Amazon, now in AWS. So, and 1 got job in Salesforce. Actually, they are working in some other companies. Now they have transited to AWS and Salesforce right now. जो सेल्सफोर्स में गया उसका पैकेज कितना है मालूम है? 13 लाख पर है ना. हम लोग के स्टूडेंट्स है. अर्लियर ही यूज्ड टू वर्क एट बुओ वेरिटस, जो कॉलेज कैंपसिंग में मिला उनको. 4 लाख पर एनम में गया था, एंड आफ्टर दैट राइट नाउ ही इज वर्किंग इन सेल्सफोर्स. And yes, Salesforce is one of the biggest cloud service provider. It's an old cloud service provider, not the biggest one. And those who have gone to Amazon, one job is to control the entire orchestrator system, and another students who is working in the testing environment. His job is to have you heard about that fire क्या नाम है जो AWS Amazon का जो मीडिया स्ट्रीमिंग डिवाइस है, फायर प्ले और क्या था नाम? ये आपका हाँ Fire TV. So what he has to check that whether their Fire TV streaming device is working fine in all kinds of streaming medium or not. Means that if the different TVs, MI TV or Apple TV or your Sony, Philips, Samsung, in different TV have different dimensions, different configuration, whether it is working in different dimensions or configurations or not. If they find out that there is any problem, in that case, he immediately generates the test report, and based on this, their works have been generated. And another student's main job is to optimize the cloud preference based on the data analytics of the what are the different products the cloud my customers are looking for. So I got very happy because they have gone through those cloud services and also the cloud labs, and they have whenever they have gone for the interview, they have shown their proficiency that I have already worked with these are the domains already. And also I have the certification because some of them has done the certification in your Coursera beforehand, and that helps them to get the job. So I request you try to whether you want to be in the want to go for the IoT jobs or data analytics jobs or cyber security jobs, that doesn't matter. To do it practically, it is hitherto impossible in your local machine, but you can do all those in cloud, and that is also free of cost. So try to make yourself comfortable with all kinds of services that are available in the cloud, and this will give you the practical exposure as well as a solid confidence within you that okay, I am now ready for any kinds of industry oriented job, because in the cloud only you get the industry standard configuration and industry standard infrastructure only, right? तो इंडस्ट्री स्टैंडर्ड जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है उसी में तुमको काम करने का मौका मिल रहा है, तो टेक द एडवांटेज ऑफ। आज से जो भी कोडिंग का काम करना है क्लाउड 9 में करो, डोंट डू इट इन योर लोकल प्लेटफॉर्म। तो उसमें तुम्हारा एक ये आ जाएगा कि हाउ टू वर्क इन एन सॉफ्टवेयर इंटीग्रेटेड प्लेटफॉर्म, बिकॉज वेन एवर यू गो टू द इंडस्ट्री, most of the students don't know how to work in a integrated software development environment, but you should be make yourself comfortable enough to work on in those fields earlier. Okay, तुम लोगों को मौका मिल रहा है, तुम लोगों को क्रेडिट वाउचर मिल रहा है, try to take the leverage out of it. Last day I have seen that few of the CSE students were not there whenever I return back at 6:30, but don't do that. I told you that I will return back and I will complete the lab, but you people have left beforehand. So please don't do that. Try to complete the lab within the lab class itself. Okay. Okay. So coming back to my point. So whether it is an Azure, or whether it is Salesforce, whether it is an AWS, whether it is an IBM cloud, they have to follow these steps only. They have to follow these steps on the user's perspective. So users can access in this manner only. And what is the difference? And another question also most of the students ask that, sir, last class में आपने पढ़ाया था regarding the cloud component, and it is the cloud solution component workflow. What is the difference between these two? Can you tell me what is the difference between these two? What is the difference between this cloud components and cloud computing solution components? Those who are the 7 steps we have seen, and this 7 steps, what are the difference between them? There, here it is 6 steps, sorry. So what is the difference between them? Can anybody tell me? If you don't know, please say, okay, sir, I don't know. Okay, I will tell you. I am waiting for your answer. अगर पता नहीं है तो बोल दीजिए, कोई आइडिया नहीं है. In that case, you don't know, need to know the answer. From your IQ level, you can answer it. From your logic level, you can answer it.
सर जो क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग सॉल्यूशन का ये है सर, इस बारे में वर्कफ्लो दिखाया है सर, मतलब कैसे इंटीग्रेट हो रहा है सर्विस वगैरह। और पहले वाले में सर हम लोग का सर्विसेज वगैरह डिस्कस किया था सर हम लोग ने से, मतलब कंपोनेंट्स वगैरह कि कौन से
Suppose
कंपोनेंट
if you
क्या
are a
प्रोवाइड
service
कर रहा है सर।
provider, if you are a service provider, मैं क्लाउड सर्विस स्टार्ट करना चाहता हूँ. That case, what are the components I should have and what should be the connectivity between all those components? So that is basically a part of your cloud components. I am repeating. Cloud component means that what are the service to start a cloud service provider, what are the components you should have and what are the relationship between all those components. Like I should have a provisioning components, I should have a metering components, I should have a monitoring components, I should have an orchestrator, and there should be a relationship between all those components, right? Now that is for the cloud service providers perspective. Means if I am a cloud service provider, I should have this component. And this one is from the cloud users perspective. Means if I am a cloud user, I should get this component so that the utility or the usability of the cloud services should be flawless to me. Means that from the cloud users perspective, I should see what is service catalog, I should see what is self-service portal, I should see what is service request, service provisioning, optimized infrastructure, chargeback, like this. Okay, so the cloud component is basically from the cloud service provider's perspective, what they should see, and cloud solution components is basically from the cloud user's perspective. Is this clear to you? Is this clear to you?
Sir, repeat it once again. I haven't understood.
Hello?
Can you repeat, sir?
Okay, so suppose you want to become a cloud service provider like AWS or IBM Cloud or Microsoft Azure. So if you want to become a cloud service provider, in that case, what should be the different components available in your cloud services? These are basically the cloud components, like your provisioning and configuration, like your monitoring and optimization, like metering and chargeback. So these are the different components you should have, that whatever we have discussed earlier. So these components we have discussed earlier, na? So this should be in your different components, right? Now, if you are a user, cloud user, now as from the cloud user's perspective, so if I open the cloud services, AWS or IBM Cloud, I should have this following components available so that the cloud service should be easier to access for me. I should have the service catalog, I should have the self-service portal और सर्विस रिक्वेस्ट, सर्विस प्रोविजनिंग. मींस आप लोग जब क्लाउड सर्विस यूज करते हो क्या देखते हो? पहले सर्विस में जाते हो ना, दैट इज द सर्विस रिक्वेस्ट. यस और नो? यू फर्स्ट गो टू द सर्विस कैटलॉग कि मुझे whether I have to take the EC2 instances, EC2 services, whether I have to take the I should take the S3 services, whether I should take the AMI services, whether I should take the IoT services, whether I should take the Cloud9. So from the service catalog, first I check this one, I find this one. And in the self-service portal, what they do that? Okay, I have gone for the EC2 instances. Now, what should be the configuration of my machine? How to find this out? So तुम क्या करोगे? You will configure a machine. You don't know how to configure a machine because you are not an IT expert. So what will you do that? One virtual CPU will take, one virtual CPU. Remember, one virtual CPU I have taken, 128 GB RAM I have taken, and 30 GB of hard disk I have taken. Will this machine work? I am repeating again. One virtual CPU I have taken, 128 GB RAM I have taken, and 30 GB of hard disk I have taken. Will this machine work? Hello? Sir, class So tell me, will this machine work? You got my question?
Sir, it's not efficient.
ये क्या होगा, एक ऑटो में तुमने BMW का इंजन लगा दिया है, वो काम करेगा?
नहीं sir.
हाँ? एक वर्चुअल सीपीयू में how the 128 GB RAM will work and the hard disk space is only 30 GB. So all those configuration must be compatible to each other. That is why what the cloud service provider has done, they have created different templates. You might have seen the different templates, na? T1.micro, T2.micro, T1.medium. Have you seen that or not? आप लोगों को याद है?
Yes. Yes.
Huh?
Yes,
So
sir.
where it is already written that for 16 GB RAM, you have to take at least 4 virtual CPU. You cannot take as you whatever you wish, because they have checked the compatibility that for this much of virtual CPU, this much of RAM is required. You should take this much of system capacity. So that is basically a part of your self-service portal, where you will be guided with okay, take this kind of services, that in that case you will get efficient services. Okay, now after that you will provide a service request. So you, after you providing a service request, sometimes you find out that that service is not being authorized, you have been denied with the service. हम लोग को मिलता है कि नहीं ऐसा? That is why I have created another classroom and I have given you $50 of credit voucher. Why? Because in your previous $100 credit voucher classroom, you are not authorized to use Elastic Beanstalk, then your WordPress, then your Cloud9. वो काम नहीं कर रहा था. आप लोगों ने, आप लोगों का याद है? मैं एक बार दिखाने का कोशिश किया था. Can you remember that? Or if you
yes, sir.
cannot remember that, do one thing. Those, whatever the $100 credit voucher you have, try to create a Cloud9 over that. It will not create. It will give you that you are not authorized to do that one. Now, who is authorizing to do those things? Your orchestrator is authorizing to do those things, because orchestrator has seen that you are a AWS Educate user. You are a student user. You have been given this $50 or $100 credit voucher for your classroom. That classroom has some specific lab. That lab has been specified by your educator, means me. Whenever I have applied for a classroom, I have to mention that what are the labs I am going to conduct with that classroom, with that credit voucher. Now, if in that particular classroom, if the Cloud9 experiment is not mentioned, WordPress experiment is not mentioned, that case those services will not be given to you. Whenever I find out that these services are not given to me, I have immediately created another classroom mentioning this lab I will conduct. So I require the credit voucher for conducting Cloud9 lab only, or AWS or your WordPress experiment only. Got it? So whenever you will try it for your from your $50 credit voucher, immediately you will be given the approval. Now is this you got it? Now you got it, the service provisioning, configuration,
Yes,
and orchestration.
Yes, sir.
Now after that, optimize infrastructure means that whenever you have created your infrastructure, you find out that you have created the infrastructure with 4 virtual CPUs, 8 GB RAM. You have created. Now the system is finding out that you are not utilizing your systems properly. What it will do that it will reduces your virtual CPU capacity, and it will reduces your RAM capacity, so that your infrastructure utilization should become optimized. Now you will tell that okay, मैं use करूं या ना करूं, मैंने बना लिया तो आपको देना ही पड़ेगा. No, they are not going to give you. Why? Because it is unnecessarily billing you, as well as the resources will also be unnecessarily withheld by you only. which can be given to somebody else who require this resources. So they will make the step-by-step procedure clear to you, and after that, whatever, and there are two steps are there. One is called monitoring and optimization, another is metering and chargeback. So they will continuously monitor your resource utilization. They will continuously monitor the system performance, activity, flowchart, everything. And after that, they will meter. They will create the metering that this much of time they have used these services. So your billing should be this much. So you will be charged back. Now, all the steps are user-centric or not? You tell me. All the steps are user-centric or not? Is it clear to you or need further explanation? Is it clear to you? Or shall I explain it again?
No, sir. Okay.
Sir, explain it again.
Which portion I
Sir,
should explain?
Sir, after the orchestra one, sir. So ये service
Provisioning, telling service provisioning.
yes
Okay.
sir, उसके बाद optimization वाला है.
Optimization wala, okay, means that suppose you have taken 8 virtual CPU, 32 GB RAM or 128 GB RAM, and you have created one infrastructure and you are doing your web applications over there. Now there is an option that I have shown to you that your scale up policy. So where you can write one simple code that if my utilization is greater than 70%, that case upgrade the utilization to double. Or if my utilization is less than 30%, then downgrade the utilization. You've seen this now? Earlier? You have not seen? Okay, just a minute. I'm showing you. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Still, I can see that 91 students. I have sent the invitation. Only 46 students have joined. That means all the students have not joined till now. Why it is so? You have to submit the assignment by Saturday. Otherwise, your 10 marks will go. I am not going to give any extra date. Please remember, those who have not registered yourself till date, please register. After Saturday, what I will do that I will revoke all this invitation, and after that you are not going to, you cannot register yourself. Okay. Now, if I go near in the lower space, you can see that auto scaling groups, this option. So in the auto scaling group, there is a option comes later on in the lab. I will show you. You have to after creating one auto scaling group, you what is there that you will be able to run a simple code over there that it will continuously monitor that EC2 instance, particular EC2 instance that you have selected. If I go to the EC2 dashboard, you can see that I have selected one EC2 instance over there. I'm showing you. Okay, so I have selected this EC2 instance, and after that, with respect to this EC2 instance, I am trying to create one autoscaling group. So there I need to write a simple code that if your resource utilization is greater than 70%, then it will be auto update to double. Means right now if it has 4 virtual CPU, it will be converted to 8 virtual CPU. Right now if it has 8 GB of RAM, it will be converted to 16 GB of RAM, so and so on. Okay. Now if your resource utilization is less than 30%, it will downgrade. Means if you have 4 virtual CPU, it will be reduced to 2 virtual CPU. If you have 16 GB of RAM, it will be reduced to 8 GB of RAM. Got my point? So that is basically that is basically used for your optimization, resource optimization. But if you don't write this one, that case whatever resources you have taken, that will only be given to you. They are not going to disturb your resources. Right? Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
Is there any other
सर
question? हाँ
सर
बोलो.
अगर टाइम में तो आप वो उस दिन कोलैबोरेशन का क्लाउड 9 में दिखा रहे थे उसमें कुछ
तो
एरर आ रहा
अब तक
था
मैं
सर
देख नहीं पाया. मैं देख लेता हूँ एक बार. हाँ. मैं
ओके
देख
सर
के तुमको बता दूंगा. I will take in between. I will take another class because I have seen that CSC students have not joined that time. Those who are the CSC, EC and electrical students. So have you started trying this Cloud9 experiment?
Yes, sir.
So have you done the collaboration part also? Have you done the collaboration part?
Sir, not completely, sir. But today it will be finished.
Okay, that is okay. So that case, what I will do that on Saturday, I will check that how many students have submitted an assignment, and after that Saturday, I will create another classes for you. There we will go further with this collaborative how to create the collaborator. Okay, by this time I will go through this one. Okay, so I will show you so how to create the collaboration and everything. Okay, and those who are left still now in creating your activating your credit voucher, please do it first. Okay. Now the next is what are the benefits of cloud computing solution components? So first is better user experience. Standardized delivery models. Capacity management. Controlled anticipation. Low deployment cost. Consistency of configuration. Now, why the better user experience? Because the entire cloud systems is based on your Web 2.0. Means the whatever you will do, that will be created by the user, maintained by the user, developed by the user, as well as if the user wants to terminate it, that will be terminated by the user only. So the entire control is over the user. And why the standardized deployment models? As already I told that the standardized deployment model is created by the cloud service components by creating some special templates, because you cannot choose as per your RAM on top of one virtual CPU. That system model is not going to work anyway. So they have made some delivery standard and you have to take that delivery standard itself. Next is the capacity management. So whatever capacity you are choosing, that is also being managed through auto scaling group. Means whether your resources are utilized properly or not, based on this they are upgrading the resources or downgrading the resources. Low deployment cost. Why the cost is low? Deployment cost is low because if you go for the physical infrastructure deployment, that case what will you do? Suppose right now you require like for the Uber business itself, सुबह इनका 4 GB RAM हमसे हो जाने से हो जाता है, but when the traffic increases, their RAM capacity also increases to 128 GB or 256 GB. Now that case, what they should do? They should purchase a computer of capacity 256 GB RAM or 4 GB RAM. You tell me. You got my question? Hello, you got my question or shall I repeat?
सर एक बार रिपीट करो.
मेरा क्वेश्चन है, instead of going through cloud services, if I go for the physical server deployment for Uber. Now morning Uber based on the customers they require only 4 GB of RAM, whereas at the daytime at 12 o'clock when when there is a peak hours, that time they require 256 GB of RAM. Now their service RAM configuration varies. सुबह 4 GB RAM चाहिए और शाम दोपहर को they require 120 for 256 GB of RAM. Now based on this, what Uber should purchase? They should purchase a system of 4 GB RAM or 256 GB of RAM.
सर मैक्सिमम वाला होगा सर.
Maximum वाला होगा because I have to cater all the customers that is in the during the peak hours. Now what will happen? Most of the times it will not be utilized properly. Resource utilization will not be proper and the cost will also increase. But instead of this, if they go for the cloud services, that case as per their requirement, if the morning requirement is only 4 GB, they will be given 4 GB. If the daytime requirement is 256 GB, they will be given 256 GB. The entire RAM requirement will be given to them based on their requirement only. So it will be scaled up and scaled down based on the requirement, right? So, and they will be built accordingly. And in this way, their cost will get lower. So that is why it is low deployment cost all time. And that deployment will also given to you very faster. For a physical service deployment, that case what they have to do, they have to first find out that which server is better, IBM is better or Dell is better. I have to make a comparison and I have to give a quotation, and after that I have to approve it, and after that I have to give a purchase order, and after that they will check that whether this server, that is 256 GB RAM server, whether it is available in India or not. If it is not available in India, they have to take it, buy it from, again they have to get the delivery from USA. उसमें 2-3 महीना लग जाएगा, and after that when they will get it, they will send back to you at Jorhat. It will take another 1 month, and after that when it comes to Jorhat, you cannot deploy it by yourself. You require the IBM service engineer. Then IBM service engineer will come to your campus, they will deploy it, and after that they will give you training. So it will require at least 5 to 6 months for deployment. But whereas in case of AWS, how much time it will take for deployment? Tell me. अगर AWS में हम लोग deploy करने जाएंगे तो कितना time लगेगा?
Whenever we need it.
5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, I can deploy it, right?
Yes, sir.
Next, the fourth part I missed, that is controlled anticipation. Means from service catalog to service user services providing to provisioning to chargeback, everything is done through a controlled, standardized controlled process. So that is basically the controlled anticipation. And the seventh is the improved server and power utilization, because whenever they create a service, they make the services such kind that their server and power utilization is maximized. You might have seen that whenever we have created a server from the virtual appliances, that case what they do, that they remove most of the APIs or patches from the kernel which are not required for your services. They will give only those part of API or in your kernels that are required for your MySQL or PHP application. That is why the size of the virtual appliances also get minimized. Why they are doing this so? They are doing this so to improve your server and power utilization. And next part is the consistency of configuration. What do you mean by consistency of configuration? Means that whatever they are for virtual CPU they are creating to support it for to 32 GB RAM or to support it to 100 GB of hard disk. It is not like that you are taking one virtual CPU and 128 GB RAM which are not compatible to each other. So there is no consistency with their configuration. So they checked it, okay, for this amount of RAM, this virtual CPU will be most consistent. They will give you the best performance. So the entire cloud solution components are giving you these benefits. Is it clear to you? If it is not clear, please tell me. I will discuss it again. Which part is not clear? Please let me know. I will be more than happy. Is it clear to you?